I never thought I'd be 35 years old and still sitting cross-legged on the living room floor, completely absorbed in a toy train set. But there I was on a Saturday afternoon, the sun pouring through the curtains, the faint hum of traffic outside, and me, carefully adjusting the tracks of a model locomotive I'd spent the better part of my week assembling. The train was more than a toy to me. It was a piece of my past, a connection to my dad who used to collect them before he passed away. Dad had worked long hours, but on his days off, he would sit me down on the carpet and show me how to fit the little metal tracks together. We'd spend hours building miniature towns, imagining stories for the tiny plastic people who lived in them. It wasn't just play, it was how he showed me he cared. And now, decades later, I kept that tradition alive, even if only for myself. That afternoon, I was so deep in concentration that I didn't notice the front door creak open. My sister Sarah must have let herself in, as she often did, with her 6-year-old son in tow. I was leaning forward, watching the small black and red engine make its way around the loop, when I suddenly heard a high-pitched gasp from the doorway. "Uncle Mark! What is that?" I spun around, startled, and saw Ethan standing there. His blonde hair stuck up in every direction, like it always did, and his wide blue eyes were fixed on the train chugging along the tracks. His little mouth was half open, as if he'd just stumbled upon buried treasure. "Oh hey, buddy," I said, chuckling a little. "You scared me." He didn't answer right away. He walked closer, slowly, like he was afraid the whole setup might vanish if he got too close. Then he crouched down right beside me, his knees digging into the carpet, and whispered, "It's a train." "Sure is," I said, handing him the small remote control that adjusted the speed. "Want to give it a try?" The moment his little fingers wrapped around the controller, his whole face lit up. He pressed the button, and the engine lurched forward, rattling along the silver tracks. He giggled so hard he nearly toppled over. "This is awesome," he shouted, louder than necessary. I laughed with him, realizing in that instant that maybe I'd been waiting for someone to share this with all along. For years, I'd been building trains alone, watching them circle round and round. But now, watching Ethan's excitement, I saw the toy set in a completely new way. It wasn't just mine anymore, it was ours. We spent the next hour sprawled across the carpet. I showed him how to switch tracks, how to slow the train down just enough to stop at the tiny station, and how to send it racing across the little plastic bridge. Ethan was full of ideas. At one point, he declared that the train was actually a rescue train, rushing to save animals trapped in the forest. Later, it became a superhero express, carrying caped heroes to their next mission. By the time Sarah came to check on us, we had built a whole storyline that would have put Saturday morning cartoons to shame. She peeked into the living room and shook her head with a smile. "I see you two have found trouble," she said. "Not trouble, Mom," Ethan protested, pointing at the train. "This is amazing. Uncle Mark showed me how to make it go backwards and forwards, and we built a whole city, and He ran out of breath before finishing, but his enthusiasm said it all. Sarah looked at me, raising an eyebrow. "You've been holding out on me. I didn't know you still had Dad's old trains." "Yeah," I said softly, glancing down at the tracks. "Just never stopped playing with them, I guess." Instead of teasing me, she gave a small smile. "Well, looks like you've got someone else hooked now." Ethan tugged at my sleeve. "Uncle Mark, can we play again tomorrow? Please." And just like that, a tradition was born. Please like and subscribe my channel for more romantic videos.